For you, whenever you tune in and turn us on, we're here to greet you and meet you and say it's so wonderful to welcome you in the warm and loving spirit of unity and that sense of community that doesn't have walls but is expansive and everywhere present, actually. So as we greet our friends in the room, so do we greet our friends that we may not see, but nonetheless they're seeing us. And, well, they may not see you directly, but they know you're here. They know you're here. This is the third in a series of process experiences. The first is actually birth, the birth experience. The birth, the preparation for what is to come, the birthing. Then immediately follows the letting go, the releasing and looking into that state we call the great mysterious unknown. Looking into that and setting an intention or writing that deepest desire, or more than that, the pulse, responding to a pulse, and writing those letters that you write that are returned to you in July from the church, so that you can review and see what it is that you really felt in that moment was an impulse in you about who you want to be or how you are willing to participate in life. This one is called the White Stone ceremony and celebration. And the White Stone is a listening to the universe, to feel into what is something, that one word or that something that is supporting and sustaining us or guiding us, or a word to grow into in the course of the year to come. The White Stone has its own historical symbology that defines it. But here, I like to play with it a little bit so it doesn't get stuck in how we do things in a rote way. So for me, the inquiry is always, how am I here to receive this? What do I bring to receive this experience? And what is it? What is it that's germinating here that I can hear in the subtle energetics of things? It rises in me that says, oh, here is a reminder of what's important. Here's a reminder of this experience of being grounded in something larger than myself. I have these everywhere. I've done this so many years, 10 years here. And so I got them in bins and boxes and drawers and all kinds. The used ones, last year's, I put them away. But they remain on my desk throughout the course of the year. So that whenever I go to that place where I listen creatively to life and what is occurring that I may not be able to see, I move toward that to hear it again in a deeper and more new way. So just to say, I hope that you picked up a pen and a new tile as you came in the door. And sometimes I try to force the issue when I'm not ripe, which is a great way to say when I'm not ripe, try to force it when it's not really rising fully. And then when that happens, I don't feel like I really heard what was wanting to be said. So on occasion, I've had to set that one aside and create another symbol in that same way, because I can feel it more deeply and more sincerely, more truly. So it may be that you need two of those this morning. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Louise, for making those happen. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Ellen, for being our sound and video team this morning. So grateful. Thank you, Chris, for being at the door. And if anybody would love on Sunday mornings to say good morning and welcome, we would love to have you on the grading team. It's not a hard job. It means be with open heart to say to others good morning and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So, having said those things, Richard, you're going to share our daily word with us this morning. With pleasure. I love that you say it that way. Freedom. May we find freedom. Indeed.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Nicole, bienvenue.
Yes.
Daily word for today is freedom. The divine presence within guides me to freedom. At times I may feel hemmed in by circumstances, limited by lack of opportunity, or faced with an unwelcome situation and no good choice. When that happens, I may feel anything but free. Rather than despair, I find my freedom in God and the limitless expression of my divinity. Shifting my perspective from the limits of the world to the expanse and perfection of spirit, peace fills me. I relax and remember that no earthly trouble is greater or more enduring than God. I claim the power of God and feel a strength beyond mere human strength as, moment by moment, I release limiting beliefs and reclaim the power I had given to my problems. Spirit lives in me and as me, and this truth is my freedom. And from 2 Corinthians, now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Thank you.
Thank you. You start doing the service in French as an alternative to our experience. Shall we stand and sing?
Yes, let's stand and sing.
I send my love.
I send my love over the mountain. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy over the mountain. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy over the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my peace over the mountain. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace over the heavens, and it returns to me. and it returns to me. Very nice.
Thank you. We want Christmas carols again.
Yeah, we do.
We were really good at that. We were like, yeah, I know. We were 100% at Christmas. We were so big.
Are the only Orthodox churches here?
Yeah, the Russian Orthodox are busy pretending it's Christmas. Sorry. Cross the political line.
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech. You never know what's going to happen. It's a good thing it's free. It just comes out. Yeah, so I don't have any direct announcements this morning of things that are happening tomorrow. We're finishing All for Love, the class that we have studied. We had to postpone the last couple of weeks, and so tomorrow we complete that class. And I don't have a plan for a new class beginning in the near future, but something will be coming along. And I'm interested to know, would people be willing for an evening Zoom class? Is that something? Cleo would. Louise would. Whoa, okay. Where two or more are gathered. So let me look at that and see what's coming up schedule-wise, and see where we can put that. A Wednesday night? Okay. All right. Thank you for that information. There was something I wanted to say this morning about the interest in doing something for Val Ruddle. And I haven't had no feedback about that. If we want to do a circle, not a service, but a circle in Val's honor, I need somebody who will help make that happen. So if you are interested in doing that, and you're willing to step into some leadership about that, I would appreciate it. And then we would need to know who to contact in addition to our own congregation if that's necessary. So just not wanting to drop that and pretend that she's not on our minds and in our hearts. I've been thinking this morning, all morning, that I have forgotten something really important, but because I can't find what that was, I mean, did you see me looking? I'm reading a book, standing here, thinking I'll find that. So I'll find something that wants to say something, but you're just stuck with what is. And that would be me standing in front of you, thinking I forgot something. So the prayer team meets again as a group on the 17th. If you would be interested in serving our prayer ministry, please speak with Betsy. Our group is small. There are 5 of us. That includes me. And we certainly are in search of individuals who are willing to assume that not overwhelming responsibility, not I gotta make stuff happen energy, but someone who can join with us in knowing the highest good for all those who request prayer. So if that's something that speaks to you, calls to you, please speak to Betsy about that. And this morning, if you have prayer requests, please place them in the box on the credenza, you online, please submit your prayer requests at info@unitysv.org. It's also a place where if you have donations, you can make a donation, info@unitysv.org. And I'm thinking if you just wanted to make a comment or send a note or do any old thing, info@unitysv.org is the place to go to do that. Thank you. So, having said all of those things, I think if you've got your stone and your pen, we're about
No meditation.
it's part of the deal. Part of the deal. It's how it works. How are you? Let me stop. Maybe that's what I forgot. How are you? How are you? Yeah. Kathy, did you go away? You were with family? Yeah. Oh, anybody else want to say what the holiday was like, or how you feel in this new year, or what you see emerging?
I feel new beginning. I really need it.
What are you doing?
It's time.
Louise is saying, I feel new beginnings, and I really needed that. Yes, yes indeed.
I miss the snow. I cross-country skied for 3 days.
You cross-country skied.
Good for you. Good
Yeah,
for
it's not
you.
going to the golf course, like Camino Island.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
How wonderful. Is that new for you?
No.
No. Okay.
I mean,
Ellen.
sneaking onto the golf course, yeah.
Yeah, really.
But I've been skiing since I've been 8.
Well, Ellen certainly is on your team, that cross-country business, you know. So, anybody else got anything to bring into the new year?
What's that?
No? Cleo?
Joyful prosperity. It's just happened in amazing ways.
So, you willing to stand up for a second? Just, I won't. Okay, tell the whole group.
I'm just having this joyful experience in prosperity. I started a business 3 years ago that just keeps growing and growing. And it's just so much fun. And
Yay! How great.
mostly it's fun.
Mostly fun. Yeah, that's the way. That's the magic. Yeah. Lynn?
I'm learning about health in that I'm well into 2 cataracts, only a week apart.
Yeah.
It's amazing all the drops and the colors and what it goes, you know, and
Oh,
I can do it.
yes.
It's going to lead to more health and throughout the year. Good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Health. After 2 cataracts, the ability to see literally and see inwardly that you are capable. You can do this. I'm so proud of you.
At 3 in the afternoon, and my daughter-in-law calls, says, Nina, how are you doing? I want to hang up on her or whatever and say, no, this is too hard now. And all I have to do is approach it again,
Yep.
and I can do it.
Yep. It's too hard now, says the mind. And then you come at it again from that different place and you say, yes, I can.
And where have I heard all this good? Right here.
You know, we hear it, we all hear it. And then we come to a place where it drops in differently. And we don't just hear it at that level, we hear it as though, look, that's new birth for sure, Heather.
Gratitude. I just want to come in to, or stay in Gratitude is what makes my life wonderful. And the people around me makes their life wonderful. Gratitude.
Gratitude. Yes. Kathy agrees.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, this Christmas I went to my son's farm in San Diego, and my daughter was down there, and my son and their family, and you know, so taken care of.
Oh,
That was my experience. So, you know, when you're, you know, they get older. I don't know. I don't get older, but they get older,
Yeah.
and you know, and you become this entity to them, and you know, the matriarch. I don't know how to explain it, but it's incredibly loving. And you know, the queen for the day. You know what I mean? It goes on. It goes on. And then I came home. And ready to have the Northwest contingency arrive at my house, and water outages. You know, my pipe was broken, and my granddaughter got her boyfriend to come up and replace. He's a plumber, to replace. I mean, it just goes on. Replace that pipe, and you know, the other sons were there to take care of other things. So it was this thing about family. And what it really is. And so even though you know you don't have the reins, so to speak, so much anymore, they have taken over, and with love and compassion. I love that word, compassion. So wow.
Such grace. Such grace.
I mean, so enriched.
Yes. So
and it goes both ways, because I see that they are enriching me, but at the same time they're all gathered, and you know, whether I'm around or not, won't stay forever. It's going to continue. Boy, that's very important to me, that it continues in the family. You know, my presence, their presence. You know what we're building.
Continuity. Thank you. It's such love. So for you online, you can't really hear what we're saying, but what Kathy just shared is the experience of being so profoundly cared for in the presence of her family, near and as she travels. And for me, what I hear in that isn't just the continuity of that loving, caring relationship. What I hear is I can trust life more because I know that I'm cared for. I'm cared for profoundly and deeply, even if we don't have family, even if we're finding ourselves on the path in a way that is seemingly separate from others. This realization I am cared for in and through this time, broken pipes, all things seem to come together in a way that works. And we say, well, it doesn't work. My car was broken. What about that? Well, out of that came this, and out of that came that. And then we say, oh, we're cared for. And sometimes it requires a little more than we think is necessary to realize that, nonetheless. Catherine?
Something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and what I hear everybody saying is connection. Like, not only family and events and spirit and nature, everything interfaces and connects and creates our experiences. And what does that connection mean? How does that feel? How does that impact our lives? Been dwelling on that a lot. It feels good.
connection and the way it works and feels in us. Norma Jean?
Something I realized I wanted to share into this community in particular, because you have hosted Sister Lucy Kurian from India before. Many of you were in this room with her, and maybe twice even. And so this year, we're looking forward to her young people coming here to this valley in internship.
Oh, lovely.
It's just a beginning, but you know, our Ireland here is part of it, welcoming that, and ristrettos, and you know, healing, of course.
Lovely.
I thought you'd want to know and be
Yeah.
looking for them.
And we have our mandala in the back that came
Oh,
from
yes.
Sister Lucy.
Indeed you do.
It's always there. Julie?
The Daily Word spoke to me, and I came up with something, and it was to keep my freedom, no matter what circumstances come at me. You know, to stay in my joy and my freedom, and that I'm a lovable human being, no matter what.
In my freedom. To choose my freedom. My friend Martha says, my peace is the most important thing to me. I live in the awareness of her statement of that over and over. My peace. Because without that, I'm not free. All right. Thank you for your generosity. That makes me feel good. I like that. I hear a call. You hear a call? Okay.
We're calling you.
We're beginning.
Emily Lou Harris wrote this song. Emily Lou Harris. Somebody told me a while back that in human design, you know, where you have to do the I Ching and the astrology and all those things mash up into human design. They said, I can't remember what the label was, but they said my big job and comfort level is responding. So I hear a call. The next line is, now will I answer? So, yeah. I hear a call. Now will I answer? Forsake my own to serve another. Though darkness falls, stay a believer. I hear a call. Now will I answer? I see a light. Now will I follow? Fill up this life that grows more hollow. Make joy reside where there lives sorrow. I see a light. Now will I follow? I hear a call from out of nowhere, and from anywhere I go. I hear a call. Now will I answer? Touch. Now will I hold on? Be there with love for those with no one, with the kindness such it lives though I'm gone. I feel a touch. Now will I hold on? I hear a call from out of nowhere, and from I hold on? I hear a call. Now will I answer?
Thank you. Did that for me.
Thanks for introducing me.
That song is really important to me. And there are times when I don't hear a call. When not just there's the great deep silence, there's nothing. There are times when you're reaching for something and boy, you just can't get hold of it. And in that feeling of asking, seeking, meeting, deepening, listening, it seems like nothing's perking. It's just not coming alive. This morning, the coffee filter was somehow of some origin that the water wasn't running through. So it ran over the filter and over the individual cup thing and onto the counter, onto the floor. And I thought, it's how it, because I've been working already for a couple of hours, thinking and reflecting and processing. And I thought, oh, that's how it feels. Too full of what's not pouring through, not moving. How do we hear? How do we trust those times? I have oracle cards and 2 sets of runes and 12 power cards and animal cards and 3 different tarot decks, and I don't know about the I Ching, but I know people who know. Astrology, numerology, books, crystals, channelers, psychics, mountaintop gurus, guides, masters. I've experienced all of that. My blessing. How incredible to have access to individuals who see and hear what I can't see and hear, but I have to be so watchful that I believe that the power is inhabited there and not here, that calling is not present in the here-ness of my own being and simply perceived by another, if you will, but already present here, as I hear a call is an origination from within. And then there's something here or something there. Long ago in 1973, I met some people who had connections with some amazing psychics somewhere in Tacoma, in a dark night. And we would go as a group to visit this person. I had never experienced such a thing, but there we went looking for the one who knew, right? And we were young and we were really in spirituality, and I mean, if you could ring the bell, we were there. Blow the whistle, we came. It was like, what? Looking for answers, looking so hungry. Somebody tell me what I don't know, please. And tell me quickly, what's my purpose? How do I find it? Where do I get where I'm going? Am I on the path? Where am I? Did I lose my way? Am I ever going to be on the path? Who can tell me my reason for being? Should I be here? Do I? Don't I? Should I fall in love with person A or person B? This or that? The Buddhists have the oracle. The tribe has the shaman. In Ecuador, when I was there on that life-changing sabbatical, It was a full moon. We were on the Amazon River, on the banks of the Amazon River. And the shaman was doing ceremony in the dark, dark of the night. And I thought, this is going to be so cool. And, you know, it was a bundle of leaves, and he did the ayahuasca himself. I don't know what he saw that I couldn't see because we couldn't speak a common language. It was like, this is going to be so high. I'm going to be so changed by this. We find little hearts on tree bark and paving stones, and we're always looking for these symbols that remind us of connectedness, being in the flow of this infinite wisdom, as we call it, omnipresent, everywhere present wisdom, emerging in and through us, emerging in and through all things, emerging in and through all of life, equally present within as the very structure and wisdom of the threading of our being into form. And still, it's like, I try to remember to bring, 4 or 5 decks of inspiration cards of one kind. I just wanted to show you that I have a good supply. I mean, every day online I get generally at least one demonstration of somebody seeing a heart in a really unanticipated place. I cleaned the kitty litter the other day. Did I tell you that? There was a heart in the cat piddle in the litter.
It's a miracle.
I thought it's a miracle. I know. It's like, what is it that inspires us into a state of open listening? And it's fine that we seek in all these ways. It's actually wonderful. It's very satisfying to do the work in a way that engages our energy, and we come away from it in communion with another person perhaps, and they've said something that is absolutely a revelatory transformation for us. It's so precious, so precious. And in that, there is a state of innocence when you lay those cards out, or draw the runes, or do whatever you do. Never deny that that's an access point to inner listening. As are cloud formations and hearts on paving stones. It's all a way that triggers this sense that we're connected to something. The desire in that is, number one, that we are open to listening, and number two, that we are aware that it's always arising from within us. I hear a call. It's in a little heart right here. At a point in time when I was really at the bottom of the barrel in a period of time, a healing time. I just remember laying there thinking, I don't know if I'll ever get up again. 1980, I don't know, sometime around then. Just like, I just can't do it anymore. Just can't do it. But I did get out of bed. I had a child to care for. And I, without really knowing why, I mean, how many times do we say that? I got in the car, I drove to a used bookstore that I'd never been in before and had no real desire to visit. Walked around in the bookstore and saw a book on the shelf by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. She's quoted in the early pages of Discover the Power Within You by Eric Butterworth. One of her poems is a key point in the presentation of how he is writing about who we are in our own divine nature. I looked up and I thought, oh my God, that book. I took it down and I opened it, and there was a pressed 4-leaf clover in the somewhere in the center of it. I said, okay. Got back to work. Put myself back on full speed ahead. Come on, steady as she goes. It's working. It was hearing an inner affirmation in the midst of darkness that okay was present. And then I was very okay in that moment. We use symbols so that we can hear ourselves, not think, but hear ourselves in the presence of the call. And the call is ever present, whether it's about health and healing, or what we can and cannot do, or how things are moving in our lives. The call is always present. And yet, through something that can remind me, it's a little more tangible, that I am in right place at right time, or that I am existent in spirit in that moment, or even that I'm simply existent. I allow myself to be cared for and supported. So when we do a ritual like the white stone, the question that we have about it, and some people hear with such luminous clarity, and the rest of us kind of like, I'll just say love, that's enough for me. And it absolutely is. And other people are like, go deep and get some luminous clarity in a moment. It's not about degrees of that. It's about a sincere listening. What is present that I can breathe into, that is a tangible reminder that I am always made new in spirit, and that I have exactly a touchstone that reminds me of that. I can see that word. I wrote it myself. It came out of my heart, and I felt that word somehow without having to work at it. I felt that word, and suddenly my hand wrote that word. And I am into growing with this word. I'm willing to grow with this word because it will grow me as I go through these various experiences in my life. Always we hope someone else has the answer. Some other place will be better. Some other time it will all turn out. But this is it. No one else has the answer. No other place will be better. And it has already turned out. At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are, and you know what you want. There is no need to run outside for better seeing, nor to peer from a window. Rather, abide at the center of your being, for the more you leave it, the less you learn. Search your heart and see the way that to do is to be. Search your heart and see that the way to do is to be. So as we enter into our guiding experience of meditation, I would invite you just to take a breath and let your body do what it knows how to do, and that is relax. Your body knows the way. And your breath is the open door of the journey. And as you relax, as much as you can, just as much as you're able, allow yourself inwardly to rest in spirit. To know that you are held and cared for. If you would hold the stone in your hands, charge it with sacred energy. Know that the sacred energy of life itself is filling this seemingly inanimate object with a vibratory power and energy that carries blessing. Breathe into it. Spirit is preparing the place. As we seek guidance, we ask, what is it I'm called to? What am I called to be? What am I called to know? What am I called to do? Imagine you're walking down a path or a hallway, or entering a sacred space. Be aware of the sounds, the smells, be aware of your feet on the path. be aware that you are moving into something new and different. In a sacred place. You might find a candle. In an outdoor place, you might find a bench. In a favorite place, you might find that perfect experience that brings you comfort and peace. As you sit, taking in the energy of the moment, in one way or another, something begins to happen. The guide appears. Suddenly, something lights up, a wall, a window, a something. There's a moment in time when something comes that represents your own higher nature. And for a moment you sit with it. Moses saw a burning bush. For you, in the moment and in stillness, allow that deep, sincere heart communication to be present. In surrender, in willingness, in silence. A word may emerge in that moment. A thought. You hear the words here. This is for you. This is a gift of support and love for your journey. When it comes forward for you, without questioning, simply write it on your stone. personal inspiration. Is already written within your heart. In the book of Revelation, it's called your new name. And so you bless and give thanks for the messenger, for the gift, for the inspiration. As you bring the word or whatever the words might be, deeply into your heart. Continue to hold the stone between your hands. Just simply bring it to your heart. Spirit, you guide me. Your wisdom pours through me as a constant source of guidance, clarity, inspiration, knowing. You lead me to whatever it might be that reminds me of this deep relationship, the constant calling of your presence within me. And I listen and give thanks. I begin to allow this to unfold within me, knowing that my every step, my every breath is blessed. I ask that I might experience deeper listening and opening for more trust and an expansiveness that allows me to know that even when I cannot hear, you speak. And even when I cannot see, you are there. In every way I say, I am blessed, and I give thanks. May it be so. May it be so.
Listen to my heart's song.
The words that come from Spirit are never condemning, they're never accusing, they're never judging. They never come with fault finding. They're always words of support, and that constancy, if you will, of being in the present. So if your word came like, get over it, pass that one by. Go find a white stone. Tell yourself that's never true. You're never found wanting more life. Deep breath. Our ministry is blessed. I am blessed through your generosity. Lord is blessed. Steve is blessed through your generosity, through your willingness to support this ministry, through your energy, through your love, through your presence, and through your generous giving. If you think ever that our ministry is about trying to generate resource, it's not. It is only always about establishing ourselves in the flow of pure, undifferentiated, ever-present, and everywhere present abundance. And so as we share our tithes and love offerings, we do so in gratitude for this day, for our time together, for our sharing, and for the incredible nature of the law of abundance that says, I put it out, Spirit multiplies and blesses it, and brings it back to me in 1,000 different ways. I give joyfully and easily, for God is my source, and abundance is my nature together. I give joyfully and easily, for God is my source, and abundance is my nature. And so it is.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell, neither one. Above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us. And the world is one. Imagine no possession. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. Brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Hope someday you'll join us.
Wishing you happy birthday again, Steve. Let's stand and speak the words of our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us.
The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over